This is my remedy for loneliness. Something about being in nature. It just creates so much good energy. Feels so good, feel alive. And come to a lagoon like this, and I think it's some of the biggest luxury in life. To be in this setting, in this beauty. It's just so stunning and gorgeous. During the pandemic, I had felt both solitude and loneliness. Now, as the world gets vaccinated, some places are getting back to normal and attempting a return to pre-pandemic times. As this happens, I'm not sure if I want the old normal. Pleasures, or so-called pleasures from the past, the distractions, have been replaced with more simple things. When the distractions stopped, like concerts, sporting events, and nightlife, I discovered other things that bring me joy, like long walks on the beach alone.
Hello everyone, Philip James coming to you from Phuket, Thailand. And right now I'm at what they call Kata Small Beach. It's right next to the, of course, bigger Kata Beach. And Phuket is really quiet. They usually see 10 million tourists a year. And right now, because of the pandemic, that number is almost zero. So even though these beaches are relatively all alone, I don't feel lonely. I feel more solitude. And in this video, I want to explore that topic, solitude or loneliness. But before getting started, I want to give a quick shout out to my viewers in Taiwan. If any of you watched my previous videos, you know that I started this channel when I was in Taiwan in 2020. And life was relatively normal there, no lockdown. But that's changed now. They're going through some issues with the pandemic. They've had lockdowns and closures. So all of you in Taiwan, I wish you the best. I hope you can get back to kind of a relatively normal soon. So solitude or loneliness. During the pandemic, I have felt a lot of loneliness, and I think loneliness for me is like anxiety, depression, and then looking for ways to like numb it or mask it. For me, I would numb it with like food. If you watch my Taiwan videos, I was eating a lot of tofu pudding. But for others, they're finding other ways to get numb. Alcohol, drugs, opiates. It's causing people to feel probably even more depressed than ever. You see a spike in suicide, the highest rate since World War II. You see a spike in domestic violence. So what do? I try to find ways to feel more solitude. When I feel solitude, I feel more alive, more fulfilled, more inspired, more creative, where I really actually embrace these alone times and solitude, because we all know that feeling of being with somebody in a bad relationship and you feel alone, you feel lonely. Whereas sometimes being alone, I don't feel lonely, I feel solitude. And I think there's no one better to talk about this topic with than a fisherman. So, I've just been told there's a riptide here. I don't want to get washed away out to sea and drown. Let's go explore the island further, find a fisherman, spend the day with him, and ask him how he deals with loneliness, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just feels solitude. Let's go.
Check it out, we found a fisherman. This is Mr. Man. We're out exploring the islands of Phuket. And, through solitude or loneliness, I know for me, one thing that works really good in regard to feeling solitude and not lonely is nature. Being around in these beautiful surroundings. For some reason, no matter how stressful things get, being out here can kind of forget about the normal stress of life. So Mr. Mon says when he comes out here, he feels gratitude, because not only is it the beauty, but it really provides even his livelihood for his family, which even deepens his respect for nature. So, with that said, we're going to, you know what? We're going to do some fishing. We're going to enjoy nature. We're going to go to some caves. We're going to explore and just kind of forget about the stresses of COVID and the pandemic and how difficult things are, and use nature as medicine today. So let's do this, Mr. Mom. This is my remedy for loneliness. Something about being in nature. It just creates so much good energy. It feels so good, feel alive. And you come to a lagoon like this, and I think it's some of the biggest luxury in life. To be in this setting, in this beauty. It's just so stunning and gorgeous. It doesn't get better. Nature at its best. Let's go to the next stop.
Here we are at James Bond Island. You know, it's famous, you've heard of it. My question for him is, how does he preserve, you know, these are hard times in Thailand, Phuket, around the world. How does he preserve some sense of solitude, some sense of hope during these difficult times? If anyone knows, it's going to be a fisherman, because fishermen spend a lot of time alone. Mr. Ma?
ทุกอาชีพกลับมาเหมือนเดิมให้เศรษฐกิจดีทั่วโลก
So Mr. Man says when he feels loneliness, and it's interesting because you read research about this all the time, and they say how important social connection is. He says when he feels those feelings of loneliness and isolation, spends time with family, spends time with his mother, reaches out to his parents to check in on him, and that gives him some sort of fulfillment. So you know what? We're going to go adventure. We're going to go enjoy nature. We're going to go do some fishing. So let's take off. We're going to say bye to James Bond Island for now. So we come out here to the ocean, and it feels pretty good. Have some Cheng beer, and what else? I think I'm gonna go for a swim. Cheng beer and swim in the ocean. Kind of to an end, but well, I gotta say, I don't know how many of you watching this feel the same as me, but if you look at this beach, it's typically going to be crowded, and it's not. It's empty. And there's a certain part of the pandemic that I love the alone time. I love this solitude. You know, I love the going places and there aren't people. Now, I might be somewhat of an introvert, but I love this. I really do. And I love the, going out to bars and going out in these public places that are busy. I get overwhelmed. I'd rather be in this peaceful environment. So there's a part of the pandemic I'm going to miss, because in a few months, this beach right here is going to be packed with tourists. It sounds weird, but there's a part of the pandemic I'm going to miss, and that is being alone, but not being lonely. I like the solitude.
Being alone with the self, void of distractions, can be uncomfortable. The pandemic forced us to be alone, and being alone can be painful. No wonder alcohol consumption spiked, as did depression and domestic violence during the pandemic. It seems loneliness forces us down one of two paths, either digging deep in self-discovery possibly, or resorting to vices because the thought of going deep is too painful, so we try to numb it. If we choose to go deep, loneliness can be replaced with solitude.